Okay. Here we go. We have another installment of the Military Aptitude and FAA test prep. Anybody new to the channel or in the room that's here, every week we're here every Friday night from 9 to 10 and then 10 to 11 for all my current clients for a Google Hangout. So I'd like to welcome everybody and thank you guys for taking time out to stop by my channel. Can everybody hear me okay? Please type in the location that you're from and the test that you are preparing for, and I will put in or type in the email where you can send your questions to. Anything math and science related or STEM related, science, technology, engineering, and math. All right. Okay, Michael Usher. Is this your first time here? I don't recognize your name. Okay, well, welcome. And I hope you like what you see tonight and subscribe, definitely. But I'm always here every week. And, okay, Olisa Booker. I hope I pronounced that right. My name's Kino, so my name's not a name that you would find, but okay, FOQT. I prepare people for every military aptitude test prep there is out there. The ASVAB, the SIFT, the OAR, the ASTB, the OAR and the ASTB for the United States Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard, and the FOQT for the Air Force, United States Air Force, and the United States Air Force and the United States Army. And in addition to that, Federal Aviation Administration testing for pilot testing. That's private pilot all the way up to airline transport pilot, and all the instructor ratings, flight and ground. I've obtained all the ratings in my career, so I definitely know the key to passing those exams. And so if you guys, whatever you're doing, as far as military aptitude test prep or FAA related testing, I'm the go-to guy. I'm not even being cocky, but let's see. Cameron, I want to give a shout out to Cameron. Cameron, he just passed the ASVAB. He had some trouble taking it. I'm not sure if he took it once or twice prior, but he actually worked with me and he doubled his score. Shout out to you. Shout out to Skylar. Skylar, he just got, he took the ASTB test and he actually is going to be selected for a flight contract. It's funny because he doesn't know whether he wants to be a pilot or naval flight officer, but it's good when you have options. Like, I don't know which one I want to do. So that's pretty cool. And I just ask you guys, just hit the like or dislike button. Either one, I don't care. You can thumb me up or thumb me down. It doesn't matter. But just to make an entry for me, please, because the likes, the more likes or dislikes I get, it's I guess it's a YouTube rating system or video rating system. Again, on the message board is my email. The way you guys get the most out of this is you have your test prep book. Take a picture of the questions that you don't understand or have difficulty answering, and you send them to my email, and I will answer them. If you've seen, hey Maria, how you doing? And if you've seen any of my previous live streams, you pretty much know that's what I do. Then my current clients that, if you've done 2 hours or more with me this week, then I open up a Google Hangout, and basically it's a video conference type deal, and we can actually talk back and forth. Right now you're just listening to me, kind of like in almost like a lecture format. But I realize a lot of people, they probably don't have the money to hire a tutor, but you can still get questions answered here. So, I don't shut everybody out like, oh, you got no money, and I don't want to deal with you. You can still Okay, great. I will definitely jump into that and take a peek. Um, Let me see here. How am I going to do this? All right. I built a for you SIF guys. I have something very interesting coming up for all my SIF people. I literally built a computer, a virtual reality computer, which I can immerse myself into a helicopter and actually do rotary wing type stuff, and tutorials and stuff like that to kind of give you an idea of all the concepts and everything that you need to prepare for the test and flight school. I also do, I normally do fixed wing stuff, but I built a system to cater to my SIFT people because there's really not a lot of rotary wing information out there. So, without further ado, we'll get into the questions and we'll jump in. All right. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Let's see. These are not too bad. But the only thing is, like, these are like visual. There's a lot of visual. I'm gonna actually get a screen up here so that I can actually present the problems when I get them like this. And what I'm gonna do tonight, I figured like once a month. I'm gonna have once a month where I kind of invite everybody into the Google Hangout. So I think that's what I'm gonna do tonight. Hey, Ileana. I think that's Ileana. I'm on another page and I'm looking at a secondary screen. It's kind of small. But Michael, what I want to do is we'll take these two questions that you've sent me, and we'll do this in the Google Hangout. And tonight, everybody's invited to the Google Hangout. I'm going to do this once a month, where everybody's invited to the Google Hangout. At the end of this live stream, what I will do is just tell everybody, okay, like the last 10 minutes or so of the live stream, I'll be like, okay, who wants to come to the Google Hangout? And tonight, everybody's invited. So it doesn't matter if you've done the couple hours that I normally require. But I just want to, give you guys an opportunity to just kind of talk to me a little bit, ask questions, and things of that nature. And I'm going to do that once a month. So today is the 9th. And let's see here. So the next time I'm going to do this, I think I'm going to do this the first Friday. Now, this is not the first Friday, but this is something that I'm going to do the first Friday of every month. So the next month in April on the 6th will be the next one where everybody's invited to the Google Hangout. I'm trying to think of any other announcements I need to make. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So now, typically, another thing, I will answer that question, Michael, but in the Hangout, because in the Hangout, I can actually present your question and everybody in the video conference can see it. There's just too much here. It's not like a math problem where I could just put it on the board. So if you have time, and I hope you do, at 10 o'clock, when I go into the, and how you doing, Leon? I'm not sure I've ever seen you here before. But yeah, I will do that. That will be actually the first one in the Google Hangout. Good, great. I'm glad you do have time. So yeah, tonight everybody's invited to the Google Hangout, and let's see here. I want to talk about typical gear questions because I've had a couple of clients this week that they didn't they saw some gear questions in their book, and basically, you know, the people that I tutor, when I work with them, you know, they'll come up with these questions, and I noticed that there is when I see a theme or a bunch of people asking the same questions, then I normally just address it in the live stream. So let's jump in. Now, basically, it's a gear question. So basically, typically how these are worded is like this. You'll have a gear that says, okay, this gear, it has 100 teeth. And then this gear has 25 teeth. All right. And basically, what you need to look at, well, here's how the question will be worded. Okay, this gear is if this gear rotates 20 times, how many times is this gear going to rotate? Well, the first thing that you have to look at is what I call a gear ratio. That's really not an official name, but in my head, when I look at gear questions, I'm always thinking gear ratio. So you can take the number of teeth in the smaller gear and you divide 100 by 25. So the number of teeth in the bigger gear is divided by the number of teeth in the smaller gear. And so what I see is a 4. And if I'm not mistaken, this is actually like the mechanical advantage. But here's the thing. This means that this gear is going to have to rotate 4 times as fast. Okay. So if this rotates 20 times, the smaller gear is going to rotate 20 times. This will rotate 80 times. Okay, because of the 4. The 4 is like a multiplier. So very, very important, because on the FOQT, sometimes you might get gear questions. Definitely on the ASVAB and the ASTB and the OAR in the mechanical comprehension section. All right, so don't lose your cool when you see questions like that. We'll do another one. Let's say this one had 300 teeth, and this one had, I don't know. Somebody give me a number. A little crowd participation. Just give me a number. Something like a whole number. And I know there's a delay. But like 50, 75, I don't know, 100, 150 even. I didn't know. Oh, I understand. I just didn't know it was 4. 4.25 or 3.4. I'm not really sure what you mean by that, Michael. I understand. I just didn't know it was 4 or... Okay. All right. Not really sure what that means, but just type in, you know. 34 is the random number. Yeah, they wouldn't use a number like 34. So I will round down. We'll say 30. All right. So in this case, the bigger gear has 30 teeth, 300 teeth. The smaller gear has 300 teeth. So the multiplier, 30 times 10, is the multiplier. So for every 1 time this gear rotates, this smaller gear will rotate 10 times, because that is the multiplier. So, but they won't give you anything simple like that. They'll say, okay, this gear rotates 30 times. Well, if this rotates 30 times, okay, then this gear is going to have to go 10 times more. So this gear would actually have to rotate 300 times. Let's see. Yeah. 1 to 10, 130. Yeah. So, and that's actually like a ratio, 30, 1 times 10, 30 times 10, 300. Okay. So yeah, I'm just checking my math here, making sure I'm not giving you guys bad information. All right, so let's keep those questions coming. Okay, this is another person, they couldn't make the live stream tonight. And even if you can't make the live stream and you email me questions, I will check them and I will still answer them. as many as I can get into the live stream. This is a aviation related subject, okay? And this is for you SIFT guys as well as the fixed wing people. This question relates to ground effect. I get this quite often. I think I answered this before. But ground effect is a situation. Ground effect is the Earth's interference with the airflow patterns around the wing or rotor for you SIFT guys. Okay, so we'll have two situations. We'll have our airplane. Number one, don't laugh at my artwork. I'm going to play that. So we have our airplane here, and it's flying towards us. All right. So this is it from a top view, and this is high in the air, okay? And so the Earth doesn't really have a chance to interfere with it. But when this airplane gets within one wingspan, okay, we're going to look at this airplane from a side view. All right. So when this airplane gets within one wingspan of the Earth, something very interesting happens. Let's put our tail there. Okay, now from a side view, when we're up here, up high in the air, above the Earth, we have a normal upwash and downwash. A normal upwash and downwash. The air molecules kind of like jump up to meet the wing, and then they fall off. Okay, but that's because there's no really disturbance from the air, and I'm running over my airplane. I realize that, right? But when we get down here towards the Earth, what happens is we don't have as much air molecules down here. So we get a reduced upwash and downwash. It's reduced because we don't have as many air molecules. And what happens is we get the same amount of lift, but we get less drag. And it will feel when you're operating the controls on a hot day. This normally happens on very hot and humid days. What happens is the airplane is like, it does not want to land. So you're going to have to plan your approach. All right. Same thing with helicopters. When you get within one rotor span, so here's my helicopter, and up top, we'll have the normal airflow patterns coming into that rotor. But when we get close to the ground, we get a reduced upwash, and it can feel like there's a cushion of air. A lot of people call it a cushion of air, and I don't even really like using that term. I just like to focus on you're getting the same lift and less drag. So I have the same less here. So same lift, less drag in both situations. All right, so that's pretty decent. That's ground effect. All right. Another issue I've been seeing, you guys have been having issues with recalling the area of a circle and the circumference. A lot of people have been having problems with that this week, and I'm just like, I talk about it all the time, and I'm like, why don't you understand that? But it's okay. I'll re-explain it as often as I need to. All right. So when me personally, when I'm thinking about circumference versus area, and we're talking about circles, the circumference is 2 pi r. The 2 is 2, pi is 3.14, and the radius is the radius. But this is my baseline. Okay, when you're thinking about formulas, and you have to remember a lot of formulas, you got to kind of understand how formulas connect with each other. And these do have a connection in my mind. So when I think about area, I say that this 2 jumps on top of the r. So we have pi r squared. So when I think about circumference and the area, the 2 just says, hey, give me a ride. Give me a piggyback ride. Boom, and it jumps on the r. All right, and 3.14, and the radius, and that's what r is, the radius squared. So that's like my little memory aid, and I hope you guys like it, and you can use it as well. All right. So circumference is kind of like, if you remember the perimeter of a square, it is the distance around the square. Well, circumference is very similar. It's the distance around the circle. That is what circumference is. When we talk about area, the area is all this, the whole like shaded area, okay? And this could be in units of inches, feet, feet, meters. The area, it would be inches squared, square inches, or square feet, or square yards. Whatever your unit is, there's going to be a square. Because you have to be careful with these tests. You could come up with an answer, and they might have, let's say the answer you came up with is a number. It was 208. Well, if it was circumference and it was in inches, it'd be 208 inches. But if you're defining area, you must put square inches, or inches with a 2 exponent, or it could be SQIN. All right. So make sure when you are labeling area, as far as units goes, it's square inches and not just regular inches. If it's circumference, it's not going to be in square inches. It's just going to be a distance. All right. So it's very, very important. Now, if we are trying to define the volume in a cylinder, then, and that'd be like a soda can. That's a cylinder. All right. Then it is the area, this formula, times height. So we just put an H. And that is the volume of a cylinder. All right. So, I mean, that's how I connect those three formulas. And I noticed that people have been having problems with that. So if we're trying to find the distance around a circle, it is 2 pi r. If we're trying to find the area of a circle, then the 2 jumps on top of the r, and we get pi r squared. And then if it is volume, I'll put my little v here, equals this. Then it's pi r squared times h, which is the height of the cylinder. So we're actually measuring the area and the height as well. And everybody, if you got that, please type clear in on the message board if that was clear to you guys. And if you like or dislike this live stream, please hit like or dislike for me, guys. There's an 8 here. I had a question like that on my test. Okay. So now you know, because like a lot of times, some of these exams, they will give you formulas, but time is of the essence. Don't waste, you just want to know the formulas. You don't want to waste time sitting there looking through somebody's list of formulas. And they're really, really not that hard to remember. Just start off with circumference. That is going to be your springboard, 2 pi r. Area, 2 jumps on the r, pi r squared. And then volume, put an h on it. Done. You just remember 3 formulas. 2 pi r squared h. Circumference, area, volume. And I see a lot of clears in the room, so that is amazing. And I'm glad that you guys have that. Penland C. Okay, I don't remember saying you either. Is this your first time? And if it is, welcome. Radius was 5 and height was 10. Okay, so what did they want to know? The volume, Leon? Because that's really easy to work out. I'll do it right now. If you like me to. If you like me to, just say yes. But if we're talking about radius and height, then you're probably that question was probably trying to find out what the units or what the volume of a cylinder was. Yes, it is participating. I did email you this past week about some one-on-one. Okay. All right. If you could tonight, please, or just right now, resend that email. I am available. Okay. So, yeah, all right. So we'll work out this volume one. All right. Give me a second. I have all these screens and computers around me. Um, Give me a sec. The answers were 5 and 100. That sounds a little off, but the radius is 5 and the height is 10. All right, so again, like I said, we want the volume, pi r squared h. And that's another way that they could actually give you answers. They could actually give you units. Okay, 50, 100, pi 100, or did you mean 100 pi and 250 pi? And to me, it looks like 250 pi because the r squared is 5. If we square it, that's going to be 25. Anytime we multiply anything by 10, we add a 0 to it. All right. So this will be 250 pi. And Maria was all over that. Good job, Maria. You were all over that. Okay. Okay, I see your email. And I will definitely be in touch with you, and hopefully you can come into the live stream. And then at the end of the live stream, we'll have like a short conversation about my scheduling coming up. Good job, Maria. Good job. Okay. So yeah, all my SIFT guys, I do have a couple of SIFT videos because I've started using simulators to, I mean, you can read in a book or you can talk about it, but then simulators are pretty cool because I can actually simulate the situation I'm talking about. Okay, you finally memorized and studied geometry. Good job, Maria. Okay, all right. So let's go to the questions, ladies and gentlemen. I sound like a game show host. That's what I do. All right. Alrighty. Another one was proportions. A lot of people had issues with, and I was kind of like, really? Like, not that, you know, and I teach these pretty easy, but there's a couple situations you could run into, and I'm going to explain what I mean. There we go. Okay, now you're going to get a simple proportion and you're going to get a complex proportion. And I'm actually going to do 3. I'm going to do a simple proportion, and then I'm going to do a complex one. And to start off, I'm just trying to figure out the ones I'm going to use, and I found them. All right, so here's the thing with proportions. You have to understand the relationship of proportions. So let's just say I had 1 over 2 equals 2 over 4. It is important to, when you see this, it's imbalanced. What I mean by it's imbalanced, because if we multiply 2 times 2, that's going to equal 4. And if we multiply 4 times 1, it's going to equal 4. So proportions are a situation where they'll say, okay, well, you got 1/2 equals x over 4. And they'll say define x. Well, when I look at my crossway numbers, okay, I'm just going to say 1 times 4 divided by 2. 1 times 4 is 4. Divide by 2, you're going to get 2. And I have 2 there. So you have to understand the relationship of proportions. This times this equals this times this. And if you're trying to find the unknown, find the cross or the part of the x that has both of the numbers. When you discover what both of those numbers are, multiply them and then divide them by the cross that only has one number, or the part of the x that only has one number. Once you do that, man, it's like smooth sailing. So, all right, let's come up with a real question, which I have in my little roster here. So I have 4 over 3 is equal to 8 over x. Okay. Now, if you look at that, another way you could look at these proportions is you could say, okay, well, we started with 1, now we have a 2. What happened between 1 and 2? So it seems to me, 1 was multiplied by 2 to get to 2. So you could do the same thing to the bottom. 2 times 2 equals 4. So that's another way you could look at these proportions when they're simple, basic ones. But I'm going to show you a complex one in a minute. So it looks like, okay, 4, how do we get from 4 to 8? We multiply by 2. So 3 to x has got to be equal to what? Somebody in the room help me out. Woo, Maria is on fire tonight. Damn, girl. Go Maria, go Maria, go Maria. Got me bouncing over here. Yeah, but Maria was first. She was like all over that. Now, here's the thing. You could do it that way, or you could do it algebraically, where you just say 8 times 3 is 24, and then divide by 4, and 24 divided by 4 is equal to 6. All right, I'll scratch it out because that may look like a fraction and stuff like that, and then you know my trolls. Oh, look, you got this wrong. So no, that is not a fraction. So 24 divided by 4 is 6. So there's more than one way to do proportions. There is no whatever way that you can do it, or you can hash them out quicker is the way you could do them. But I kind of look and say, what's easier? All right, I'm like, okay, 4 times 2 is 8, so 3 times 2 is 6. I'm done with it. For more complex numbers, I would do the cross multiplication. All right, now let's talk about a complex. We're going to do 2 complex proportions, and you always need to realize the relationship. I'm going to write this out really, really big because it's going to look like Chinese a little bit at first, probably to some of you guys. So we have 7 over b plus 5, and that equals 10 over 5. Now, when I look at this, a lot of people will look at this and be like, well, okay, that looks bad. Sometimes people just see fractions and they freeze up. But all you have to do is realize how proportions function. All right, so I can see one cross. 7 times 5 is 35. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write a new equation. That's what I'm going to do. That's what we do, man. We write new equations, son. So 35 is equal to 10 times b plus 5. All right. And it's the same statement, really. I'm saying that this times this is equal to this times this. That's what we've been saying the whole time we started talking about proportions. It's the same thing. This times this, 35, is equal to 10 times b plus 5. Order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. All right. So 10 must be distributed. So the next line is 35 equals 10b plus 5. No, 50, sorry, because 10 times b is 10b. 10 times 5 is 50. So now, at this point, the 50, some people say, well, you subtract 50 from both sides. I don't look at it like that. I say the 50 jumps the equal sign. He changes sides. He's not positive anymore. He's negative. All right. And so that what we wind up having, I'm checking my real estate out. We have 15 is equal to, or actually negative 15 is equal to 10b. And if we divide 10 on both sides, then b is going to be equal to negative 1.5 or negative 1.5. All right. Penlancy, because I don't want to mispronounce your name. Penlancy or Penlancy. Very good for that. Good answer. Actually, yeah, negative 1.5. I saw your correction. All right. So don't let proportions like shake you up. As long as you understand the relationship of proportions, and the question says solve this proportion. Well, that's how you solve it. Make sure that the x factor, we can call it that. I'm always making new math names and stuff. Maybe I'll like win some type of math award or something for that. Like my hot numbers. It's like hot numbers, yeah. Anybody that does radicals with me, they know about what I call hot numbers. Okay, all right. So let's do another one. All right. All right. We have 4 over m minus 8 is equal to 8 over 2. All right. Now, again, we have an imaginary x. And this times this has equal this times this. So 4 times 2 is 8. And that is equal to 8 times m minus 8. Again, we have parentheses, and this means that the 8 must be distributed into the parentheses to make the parentheses brackets fall off. So our next line is 8 equals 8m minus 64. 64, at this point, is going to jump sides. It's going to cross over and become positive, and then we're going to have 72 on this side equals 8m. If we divide 8 on both sides, then m is going to be equal to 9. All right, so don't let proportions shake you. Just as long as you maintain, anybody I work with, as long as you understand proportions and you understand the structure and you realize that this times this equals this times this, you can transform them like I did with that the one with the 35 in it. All right, so you don't have to be, oh my God, this is crazy, proportions. If you still don't understand proportions, then, just keep coming to the live streams. You will, if you guys keep bringing me questions, I will answer them every week. All right. And, all right. So type clear, guys, if all that was clear to you guys. Because if I need to break it down even further, I will break it down any further. I'll take it as deep as I need to go. Hey, brother, man. What's up, my brother? All right. All righty. Let's see here. Okay, so we got a lot of clears in the room, and that is very, very cool because I like to just make sure that I'm you guys, we've all probably been in high school or college if you're here at this point here in the live stream. And there are lots and lots of really, really knowledgeable teachers and instructors. Yeah, come to the Hangout. And I'll reiterate, everybody's coming to the Hangout tonight. Everybody's coming to the Hangout. What else did I want to say? Yeah. So yeah, we've all been in high school or college, and we know that they're very knowledgeable people in the area of math. But what I find, when I, talk to people like in my travels and stuff like that, yeah, people know math, but they don't know how to teach it very well. They don't know how to break it down fine enough so that the audience can understand what's going on. And not just like 1 or 2 people in the audience, but at least like 90% of the audience. I like to hit like 90, 95, 100% really if I could. But with my methods, I try to explain mathematics, anything math, science, or technology related. I try to break it down. Like what am I trying to say? I try to break it down so that a 3-year-old can understand it. The 3-year-old will be like, yeah, proportions. Uh-oh, facts. Uh-oh. Okay, so you know what I'm saying? Like, I know I beat up on the school systems a lot. I do. Because me personally, I don't think they're very effective. And And I'm not going to go into why. I'm just going to leave that one alone tonight and focus on you guys and the questions you guys need answered. Okay. 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 I'm trying to avoid questions like that we've been doing. Like, if you could find it in a live stream like 1 or 2 weeks ago, I'm not going to do that question again. Or I'm going to try to avoid it unless, there's no other questions. But I'm kind of seeing an ongoing theme. And we haven't really talked about, not that I can recall, I'm not sure if we have, but I don't think that we have talked about the properties of exponents in a while, which this particular subscriber is referring to. So I'm just going to do a quick little I'll do a couple of the easiest type of questions you can get as far as exponents go. A medium, a small, medium, and large. Yeah, like we at McDonald's. No, Burger King. Have it your way. All right. So exponents is another area that people kind of, they freeze up on. And it's not that, I try to tell people it's not like, okay, you're stupid or something's wrong with you. Normally, a lot of times, it's really like the teaching technique. I'm just going to go into it. All right. So what we have here is, the first one we have is 2m times 2m. And we have a exponent of 2 and an exponent of 3. Okay. Now, what I always say when I look at questions like this, you have to separate them. Okay, so we're going to say 2 times 2, and we're going to say m squared times m to the third. So, with the crowd participation, guys, what is 2 times 2? I know it's a simple question, but I'm trying to get more and more crowd participation every week. Because first, we're going to multiply the 2's, and then we're going to multiply the m's. Okay, so yes. So in our answer, 4 is going to be in our answer. Now we must deal with the exponents that have the same base. If they have the same base, then this is going to be m, but now we have to deal with the exponents. And when we multiply them like this, it's like saying m squared plus 3. So what's 2 plus 3, guys? It's 5. Very good. Olisa. I'm just going to say O because I don't want to mispronounce your name. So I'll just say, okay, thank you, O. All right, Maria's got it. She's all over it. So 4m to the 5th power. All right, very good with that. Maria is a beast tonight, man. Woo. All right, now let's try a medium one. Well, no, we'll do like one more kind of type like that. Yeah, let's do something different. All right. Not different, but something that looks a little different. So we have m to the 4th power times 2m to the negative 3. Now, whenever we don't see anything right here, it is assumed that there's a 1 there. Okay, we just assume that there's a 1 there, mathematically. So 1 times 2 is going to be 2. Now we have m to the 4th plus negative 3. That's how you have to look at it. All right. And I'll encompass it in parentheses to make sure that you understand. It is 4 plus this number. All right. And when you encompass it in parentheses, then you're truly showing the separation there. If it was a positive number, it would not be needed. But since it is a negative number, we need to, boom, make sure that we don't screw it up mathematically. All right. So 4 plus negative 3 is going to be 1. So final answer is going to be 2m, because m4 plus negative 3 would be m to the 1. And again, whenever you don't see something here, there's an imaginary 1 there. But anything times 1 or raised to the 1 power is itself. All right. Let's go a little bit deeper. All right. Go a little bit deeper, make the problems a little bit uglier. Now, there's one situation that I preach every time, is whenever we raise something to the 0 power, it is automatically going to be 1. So if it was 256 raised to the 0 power, if it was a raised to the 0 power, if it was x, y to the 0 power, each and every one of these answers is going to be 1. Period. Done. Anything raised to the 0 power is 1. I hope we can all agree with that, because I wouldn't give you any bad information, or I try to guard against giving you guys any bad information. So the first one I was looking at, I kind of already answered. X squared to the 0 power. And this is called a power of a power rule. We have a power inside and we have a power outside. And what's going to happen is the 0 is going to deal with the x. So this is actually multiplied when it's in parentheses, because it's not the same situation we had before. We have the base and the exponent in parentheses. So the 0, everything in here is going to be raised to the 0 power, which is 1. If we had 2x cubed raised to the 0 power, then the 0 power is going to deal with the 2, and it's going to deal with the x to the 3, and it's still just all going to be 1. All right. So it's very, very important that we understand that. Okay. Another type of situation you can have, and if I'm moving a little bit fast, don't worry about it. You can come back and DV. This is a DVRable. All right. 4a cubed to the 2nd power. Again, a power of a power rule. The 2 squared is going to deal with the 4, and it's going to deal with the exponent. So 4 squared is 16, and then a, this is like saying a 3 times 2, which is a to the 6. So 16a to the 6. So you can see these exponents are not that bad. You ain't bad. I'm in a like funny mood tonight. Don't ask me why. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna do 2 ugly ones. I mean, super ugly. Yeah. All right. So here's the first super ugly one. We have 4m to the 4th, n to the 3rd, p to the 3rd, over 3m to the 2nd, n to the 2, p to the 4th. All right. And you guys are like, wow, man, that looks like Chinese. Oh, no, the next one's going to be even worse. This is not bad. So, again, what I do is I separate numbers and individually slice the 4 over 3 in my mind, the 4 over m to the 4th over m to the 2nd, n to the 3 over n to the 2nd, and p to the 3rd over p to the 4th. So, in my answer, I can't do anything with the fraction 4 over 3, so that's going to stay there. 4 over 3 is going to be in the answer. If it was something like 8 over 4, then the answer would be like 1/2, 1 over 2, or just 2 on the bottom actually, because the 1 would be understood to be there. All right, so there's really nothing we can do with the 4 over 3. M to the 4 over m to the 2nd is like saying m4 minus 2. N to the 3 over n to the 2 is like saying n3 minus 2. This is called the quotient rule of exponents. P p to the third over p to the fourth is like saying p to the 3 minus 4. Now something interesting is going to happen in this third situation. 4 minus 2 is 2. We get m squared. That stays up top. We get n3 minus 2, which is going to be a 1, so that is just going to be n. But this p is going to give us a negative 1. And how I look at this, the base, and we have the exponent. I don't know why I drew that line there, guys, but, you know, I'll just put exp for the exponent. The base is the kid, and the exponent is the attitude. And if this kid is bad, okay, and then another thing I want you to think of is the fraction, up and down. I hope I'm not running out of real estate. I'm checking, yeah. So we have upstairs and downstairs. Wherever this kid is at, if it has a bad attitude, exponent, negative, bad attitude. If it's upstairs, it has to go downstairs and it's going to change its attitude. And if it's downstairs on the bottom and it's negative, it's going to go upstairs and change its attitude. I'll show you what I mean. Because I know it's like, what the hell did he just say? All right. So m stays upstairs. M squared. N stays upstairs. N. But when we did this, p is negative 1. Bad kid is upstairs. He must go downstairs and change his attitude. So p goes downstairs and there's a 1 imagined to be there. So our final answer is 4m squared n over 3p. All right. Now, my question is, I know that went a little bit fast. And if you didn't catch it, just DVR it or, you know, over the next couple of weeks. Just throw more exponent questions at me. And as you watch it and you get it, if you're not doing one-on-one tutoring with me, it will come to you eventually. The next ugly one. All right. This is going to be ugly. All right. 3 x to the third power. Y to the negative 1. Z to the negative 1. Over x to the negative 4. Y to the 0. Z to the 0. Reading. Nope. This is number 4, which is on the bottom. And everybody's invited to the live stream. So I can come back and do this. The Google Hangout. So I will do this again for you guys right now that come to the Google Hangout. And start sending your emails if you're interested in the Google Hangout. All right. So when I look at this, when I see the zeros, I just change them to ones. And 1 times 1 times x to the 4th is x to the negative 4. Bang, they go away. They disappear. All right. So now what I'm left with is the 3, which is going to stay in the answer. I have x to the third minus x to the 4th. Minus negative 4, sorry. So 3 minus negative 4. The negative distributes, this becomes positive, and so we have x to the 7th. Okay. Now, after that, we have to deal with, we dealt with the x's, now the y and the z. I see 2 bad kids, and I see 2 bad attitudes. So what happens? They must go downstairs and change their attitude. Y goes downstairs, z goes downstairs. Final answer is 3x to the 7th over yz. Type clear if you understand it. And if you don't, come to the Google Hangout and I will explain it. Okay. 3x to the 7th over yz. Very good. Very good. Very good. And again, please hit the like button or dislike button. Either one, doesn't matter. But just hit it if you liked or disliked this live stream. Again, everybody is invited to the Google Hangout tonight. I'm going to be doing this once a month. And I get it-ish, but we'll go to the Hangout. That's right. Come on in. Okay, so there's the email, KenoThomas@gmail.com. If you guys are interested in coming to the Google Hangout, I welcome you to come to the Google Hangout. What else did I want to say? Yeah, that's really about it. It is, according to my clock, it's 6:58. There's really not anything else that, Maria, send the email. Now, a couple things. You should have a Gmail account. It just makes life easier. If you have a Yahoo or a Hotmail or edu email, when I send you the link, it's going to ask you to download something. If you have a Gmail account already, and just go into your Gmail account, and then when you click on the link, black. I prefer you to send that to my email, Maria, so this way I can do everybody in queue. I sent an email for a volume question. All right, Michael. All right, so let me just make sure I make a little checklist of people that want to come, and I'll just get that established now. Just make sure you hit the email, and I will check these off. So I got Maria. I got Michael. Alonzo. Leon, send me an email. Make sure you send me an email, please. And, if you have time to come to the Google Hangout, I'd like you to put your name in so we can, okay. Oh, Lisa. Okay. Make sure you send me that email so I can get it to you. Please have even if you don't have one this week, get a Gmail account. So this way it'll just be much easier. You'll click it and then bang, you come right into the Google Hangout. Okay, okay. All right. And if you come to this live stream, if you come to this live stream later, and because you caught it at the back end and we hang up. All right. I will just send me the email, Cam, and I will, and oh, I didn't even know you were even in here, but that's the Cameron I was telling you about. That doubled his score. Or I think he more than doubled the score. But at any rate, he did a good job, and we're very proud of him. Let's see. All right. Okay, so if you come in here and then we're closed and we're not, and you see this, you can still come to the Google Hangout. I will allow like up to a half hour. After that, I'm just gonna stop checking. All right, and then we can address that here question, and those will be the first two questions that we'll talk about. Okay, just in closing, I'd just like to say, if you guys are preparing for the ASVAB, the AFOQT, the ASTP, the OAR, any Federal Aviation Administration test for pilots, this is the place you need to be. I'm here every week, Friday from 9 to 11. Normally 9 to 10 for the live stream, and then after 10 to 11, I work with my clients that have done at least 2 hours with me during the week. I reserved that, but tonight, and I will be doing this once a month, I will be opening up a Google Hangout for everybody. Anybody can come to the Google Hangout. That's really about it. So, like I do every week, I thank you guys for taking time out to either watch this later or the people that have participated. I hit 2,000 subscribers. I was like shocked, like, whoa. Because you know what? I know 2,000 subscribers don't sound like a lot, but there are a lot because there's a very small population of people that are really trying to mentally expand themselves. And so I'm proud of every 2000, 2001, wherever the hell I'm at this point. I'm very, very happy about that we hit 2000. I'm happy about the recent people that have passed their tests. I'm happy and looking forward to the people that are going to pass their exams in the future. So I'm Kino with STEMwithKino.com. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. I thank you guys for watching, and now I'm going to give you the finger. I'm trying to give you guys